And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WrestlePurists Worldwide. I'm your host, Ibu, of WrestlePurists, of Self-Made, of Wrestling Twitter, of whatever you want me to be. And I'm back to talk about WrestleMania 41. And I'm joined by one of my favorite co-hosts, and that's Anna, who's here with me. She's in a very festive mood, a very celebratory mood. One, because Sky went and retained the women's championship, but also because Cody Rhodes, to my chagrin, has lost the WWE championship. But we will be talking about WrestleMania 41. She got the jersey out. She's repping John Cena. We'll talk about WrestleMania 41's, the highs, the lows, the positive, the negatives, and everything in between. We'll also talk about just my general thoughts on WrestleMania weekend. And we will also talk about AAA. AAA has been sold to WWE. There's a lot going on there. It's a pretty tangled situation, and one that you have to honestly do a lot of reading on to even begin to comprehend what's actually going on. So I will do my best to help lead you guys through some of this stuff, some of the information, and help kind of sort out what's actually taking place here. So I'll do my best to do that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Mania 41, Night 2, and anything else in between that you guys would like me to touch on or Anna to touch on, just feel free to ask. So this is going to be another show where even though we'll cover the shows, you guys will steer the ship. So send the super chats and now get them in. Feel free to like the video if you haven't, and send us your super chats, and we'll answer any questions you guys have. We'll answer anything you guys would like us to touch on. I'll give my opinions on anything that maybe I missed on giving that you guys would like me to talk about. But we'll do that. We'll cover Mania. Get those super chats in. Like the video if you haven't. Subscribe to WrestlePurists if you haven't subscribed. And with that, Anna, would you like to tell us about what's going on with your shirt? What's going on?
Dun, 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 dun. That's what's going on, Ibu. It comes with a thing.
Oh my God. Anna, I thought I was watching a wrestling match yesterday, and then like 20 minutes in, you're like, I'm outside. Fiend.
Ibu, you have to understand. It's like 5 a.m. for me, right?
Right.
5 a.m. for me.
Yeah.
I am almost falling asleep. I've been watching this thing for hours.
Probably
like
delayed.
I just need and the day before, very delayed. The day before I was working 10 hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm seeing this match. It's okay. It's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to be nothing great.
Yeah.
And then exactly. Fiend.
And then Anna, it's not just a song. He comes out, and
I'm like, Mr. Travis Scott himself.
Yeah. He comes out, and the thing about it, Anna, is you're thinking he's gonna like run to the sprint to the ring, right? You're like, oh, he's gonna run out there. The ref is knocked out. He's surely gonna run out with a sense of urgency because maybe the ref's gonna wake up anytime soon, right? He's gonna run out there, blitz his way to the ring. I'm like, all right, maybe he's gonna hit his pose and he's gonna jog. He takes Anna 2 minutes to slowly walk down there, taking all the atmosphere in. I'm like, does this guy think he's Roman Reigns? He just saunters out there at his own pace, at his own time. And I'm like, bro, there's still a match going on. Like, this is not like an angle. It's not a post-match angle. We just completely pressed pause on the wrestling match these guys were having for Travis Scott to come out. And I'm sure you thought the same thing I did, and I'm like, oh no, he's walking slow because The Rock is going to come. No, it's just Travis. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was with my friends on Discord, and we were saying, hey, The Rock has to show up. There's no way in hell The Rock doesn't show up tonight. Like, he hasn't shown up since the heel turn. This apparently was like all his plan. Travis Scott's coming out. So like, yeah, The Rock's coming after. No doubt about it. Then the match ends. And then the pay-per-view ends.
Yeah.
And where's The Rock? No. What did he do?
And then
what was his point in that story?
And his point is he is an insane person. And he just likes to do things at his own whim and fuck up the creative plans of WWE. And then they just have to figure out what to do. And I'm going to take you through a timeline. Okay. Let's take you through a timeline. He's involved with WrestleMania 40's build. He's on the TV. He's locked in. He does his match at night 1. And then Raw through WrestleMania, he's talking to Cody. He holds his belt. He puts something in his hand, which I believe is Dusty's old watch that he pawned off. And I'm like, okay, long-term storyline. Let's see what's going on here, right? Eerie segment. He's gone. And everybody expects him to be gone for a while because, of course, Mania's done. He resurfaces Anna in October at Bad Blood. Cody and Roman Reigns defeat Solo and Jacob. The Rock shows up. Everybody's like, oh, here's where we're going to set up Rock versus maybe Roman or Rock versus Cody. That makes sense. He shows up, Anna. He puts 3 fingers up and then walks away. And you're like, what could this be?
I forgot about that.
Fingers. Yeah, because I want to paint this picture so people realize how much of a maniac this guy is. Then Anna, he resurfaces on January 6th. And you're like, oh my God, it's the final boss.
Interesting day.
Very true. But to this point, he's been the final boss for a year. And then here he's like, hey guys, shout out to Netflix. Thanks for coming. Thanks for buying tickets, man. It's great WWE's on Netflix. Man, Triple H is doing a great job. Shout out to Cody Rhodes, man. Cody Rhodes, what a hell of a champion. Ted Sarandos, Netflix, man. Shout out to you guys up in the press box. Man, I love everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everyone here. And you're like, huh? And then Roman Reigns defeats Solo Sikoa, wins the Ulafala back. And you're like, then Rock gets back in. And you're like, oh my God, Rock's going to rock bottom him. And we're going to get the angle. No, he just hugs him. He's like, all right, good shit, man. Good job. And you're like, what? And then he posts on Instagram, he's like drinking with Cody and shit. And they're like celebrating. You're like, oh my God, he just blew up like 2 years worth of storylines. And Rock's response to this, Anna, he's like, no, fuck you. Fuck you. I didn't do shit. I'll show you. He shows up to NXT the next day, Anna, drunk out of his mind. Because it's The Rock. Why are you on NXT? He's on NXT, and he's just like, oh, why are you being nice to Cody? Shut up and enjoy the ride the final boss is taking you on. The final boss is going to show you guys. And you're like, all right, Rock, what do you have in store? Well, what he had was nothing. He wasn't at the Rumble. He wasn't around. He's doing Moana reshoots. And then Anna, out of nowhere, with 1 day's notice, no, not 1 day's notice, with like 12 hours notice, he's like, I will be on SmackDown tomorrow. You're like, huh? And he shows up and he starts caressing Cody's face and telling him that he wanted him to be his champion. And you're like, huh? What's happening here? Is this like a weird sex cult? What's going on here? Right? And then he resurfaces on a video screen like, Cody, I expect my answer at Elimination Chamber. And you're like, okay. And then we get the amazing angle that we talked about. Cody says no. Cena turns heel. Rock, Cena, Travis Scott. You're like, oh my God. Is this the new NWO? Oh my God. This is going to be on TV. Scott. Oh my God. This is going to be like the next month of TV. Mania saved. Look at the build. Holy shit. Anna, The Rock proceeds to appear 0 times on any of the TV. He was mentioned by name twice in the entire build after that heel turn. And you're like, all right, maybe he comes back at Mania. No, he doesn't. He's not there. John Cena has a match with Cody Rhodes. They're just having a back and forth match. He does like 19 AAs. And then Fiend, Travis Scott comes out. Travis Scott is like looking at Cody. John Cena's grabbing Cody, Anna. And Travis like has the belt. And I'm like, the referee is standing right there. That's a DQ. If he hits him, that's a DQ and you won't win. What's going on? He's looking at this. And then Cody reverses and he's like, come on, Travis. Let's go, Travis. Come on, bring it on, Travis. And I'm like, all right, this is where it's Mania. Give me a spectacular, crazy bump. Because last year, Anna, Randy Orton gave ISO Speed the RKO on the table. Awesome. Chef's kiss, right? The year before that, in the Prime bottle suit was KSI. He shows his face. You're like, oh shit, it's KSI. And then fucking Seth Rollins moves out the way, and then Logan Paul fucking does the splash to KSI to the table. Great spot, right? So I'm like, okay, what do we have this year, Cody? What do you got for me, Cody? What is he gonna do with Travis Scott? He does a regular crossroads in the middle of the ring, and you're like, okay. And then he has the belt, and then he's like, I don't want to hit Cena with it. I'm a good guy. And he just drops it, and Cena's like, okay, then I'll use it. And he just fucking kicks him in the dick, hits him with it, and then wins. And everybody's like, what? What? I don't know where to begin with any of this. I don't know where to start. But while the super chats are piling up, I'm going to just toss it to you to take it wherever you want to take it.
Yeah, I would just say, like, you forgot something very important in this timeline, right? That just halfway through it, The Rock just posted a video wearing a New Japan t-shirt. I feel like this is very important information.
Yes, it is very important information. Yes. Like 2 weeks ago, he just decides, I'm The Rock and I'm contemplating things. And there's a Rubik's Cube and he's making a thinking face, like stroking his chin. And he's holding a shirt with the New Japan Pro Wrestling logo. And you're like, why? What does this mean, Dwayne? How does any of this connect? How does the 3 at Bad Blood connect with him being out of character on January 6th to that on January 7th being like, fuck you, I'm still out of character, but I know what I'm doing. Fuck you, I know what I'm doing. To then I'm back on SmackDown, be my champion, Cody. To John Cena's my champion. To I'm gone. To New Japan. To now he's in fucking Maui. Anna, he posted on Instagram 3 days ago. He's like, I'm gonna be in Maui this weekend. And everyone's like, oh, he's a wrestler. He's working. He's lying because he's gonna be at Mania. No, he was actually in Maui. What the fuck?
The first wrestler to ever tell the truth.
He just told the truth. He was serious. He was at Maui. What's going on? I think Anna, he's just a weird man. I think he's just a weird
He's
man.
a weird man
That just decides randomly in the middle of his protein shakes and peeing in bottles, which reportedly he loves to do. He just loves peeing in bottles, even when there's toilets right there. He's just like, oh man, got a good pump. Oh yeah, WWE. Hey Hunter, what's up, man? Nothing much. How are you? Yeah, The Rock was just thinking, maybe I show up tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna be on there. Did you have an idea? We'll let you know when I get to TV. And he just shows up and does shit.
Yeah, the STT is very strong with him. You know, I don't even know what to say for The Rock anymore, because I was already thinking like the whole situation is very weird, right? Like from the beginning. I think since the heel turn, it was still like, okay, The Rock and Cena, they're aligning, and this is gonna be like a very big angle. For some reason, Travis Scott is there, but it's just for the pop, just for the cheap thing, cheap heat, like a social engagement, whatever. That's not gonna. If Ibu, tell me, right? When that happened, when the heel turn happened, right?
Yeah.
And you saw The Rock, John Cena, Travis Scott in the ring, and I told you that at WrestleMania, 2 of those men would be in the ring celebrating Cena's 17th title win. Who would you have guessed?
I'm like, oh, okay. Travis was a celebrity tie-in, and then at Mania, Rock and Cena gang up on Cody Rhodes. That makes sense. And then Rock gives Cody a rock bottom. John Cena gets the win, and then Cena, is the champion. Okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. So we know, like, it's not anything new that WWE is not like a wrestling company, right? But I do feel like until a few years ago, they had some boundaries. Right? They still had some boundaries. I think I tweeted about it. Like,
yes.
no, some boundaries as celebrity as well. Like they use celebrities. Celebrities had matches. Celebrities would show up, but they would have never put a celebrity in the main event like that. You know what I mean? Like you mentioned KSI, you mentioned Speed. They were in the middle of the show.
Right.
They weren't in the main event. Because for me, this is like, imagine like when Daniel Bryan, he beat Batista and Randy Orton and he got like both of the titles. Imagine that he got that with the help of like, who was famous at the time? Fucking Justin Bieber or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some things, you want the cheap like social engagement. It's probably not going to age well. Like, Travis is a huge rapper right now, but if you're watching this scene, which supposed to be like this guy, John Cena, he just broke the record for most title wins in WWE's history, right? And you're watching it, you're showing in video packages, you're watching it 20 years from now. You're going to be like, why the fuck was Travis Scott there?
I'm going to pause real quick to yell at somebody in the chat. So here's the deal. Someone in the chat says SRS says Rock wasn't going to be at Mania in December because of potential Moana reshoots. Y'all thought he was going to risk a potential $1 billion movie for WrestleMania. So here's the problem with this. There's 2 problems with this. Number 1, Rock doesn't have to take a bump on the show. No one expected him to wrestle. He made it clear he wasn't going to wrestle. Number two, we knew that. We did know that he was going to do the Moana reshoots, right? We knew this, but it was his decision in spite of that to be like, I'm going to show up on SmackDown in February to set up an angle. And it's like, what? Really? To do what? Why? And then he does Elimination Chamber. Why would you set up a big Mania angle and do Elimination Chamber to then not be a part of Mania at all? Especially when it's your storyline. Why not at the very least maybe shoot while you're at the chamber, right? Anna, he could have easily shot like an interview or maybe little vignettes that they could play on the TV for the next few weeks, right? He's in the building, Anna. He's in the building. You can shoot a collection of vignettes that you could chop up and put on the TV that basically will flesh out what this John Cena thing is. It could be a thing of like, maybe just put a different shirt on, Dwayne. Just put a different fucking shirt on and just do a thing where it's just like, I don't know, he's giving him instructions or whatever the fuck. My point is, we accepted by early February no Rocket Mania. He made it very clear when he blew up everything that he had set up in January 6th. It was him who did that. And then he's the one who, when Dave Meltzer said he's not at Mania, he was the one who was like, don't listen to those fucking guys. Don't listen to those dirt sheet dudes. That's what he said. That's what he said. And the sheet people, Dave and Sean, are like, guys, he's not wrestling. He's not wrestling. We said, okay. And then Dave and Rock's like, no. Only the final boss knows what the final boss is doing. And people are like, oh, really, Rocky? Really, Rocky Sama? Oh my God. And then like, wow, Rock. And then again, it was he who resurfaced in February and March. Why would you do that if you still weren't going to show up? This nigga is weird. I'm telling you, he's weird. He's fucking weird. And I'm saying this as somebody who loves Rock. Like, I think Rock's like WWE's best superstar ever, in spite of the fact that he's a fucking maniac, right? I speak on behalf of the WWE universe. Dwayne, until you can commit to a story that has a coherent, I emphasize coherent, I triple emphasize coherent, beginning, middle, and end, where you can be there for the beginning, middle, and end, please stay away from the show. Because you know what's going to happen, Anna? It's going to be like the middle of fucking May, when people aren't even like paying attention to WWE like that. People are focused on like the NBA playoffs and other things happening in the world. You know, no one gives a fuck about like fucking Backlash or some shit. And Rock's gonna be like, the final boss has an announcement this Friday on
Yes.
SmackDown. And you're like, what? Huh? And he's gonna show up and he's gonna be like, John Cena, remember what we discussed? We discussed it. And you're like, huh? What's it? And he's gonna disappear. Before he walks away, he's gonna put a weird symbol with his fingers. He's gonna make some weird fucking gang sign or some shit. And you're like, huh? What does that mean, right? You know, he'll like chitty chitty bang bang, throw some shit up. Yeah, right. Some weird shit. Some weird shit, right? And he's gonna walk away, and all the big WWE blue checks are gonna be like, oh my God, 4D chess. What's he doing, guys? Fucking deciphering shit. And then you know what's gonna be the funniest part, Anna? In the middle of a Seth Rollins match, someone's gonna freeze frame his hands in a motion that look like the symbol Rock and be like, oh my, there it is.
Did you see the tweet that like Seth, he's just holding the mic like this, and people put next to the Rock and being like, oh my God, the signs have been there all along. Like, how else is he supposed to hold the microphone?
Anna, last year when Rock was with the Bloodline and they all put the ones up, Rock put the one up with his thumb, and people were like, oh my God, that's a sign. No, he's just weird and doesn't know how to do the fucking Bloodline thing with the finger. So he made an L. Like, that's what I'm telling you. I swear to God, he's gonna resurface in like 6 weeks.
Oh my God.
When we don't need him.
I generally give it like 2 weeks tops for him to just show up and say some weird shit and leave.
He's gonna post.
I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up this week.
Yes, he's gonna show up. He's gonna post an Instagram video, Anna. It'll be him and like Montez Ford. And it'll be like, this guy is a good champion. I like this guy. He makes me think of my father. He makes me think of the future. And the video will end. You're like, huh? What? Is Montez turning heel? Is he breaking up? Is he joining with Cena? What's the connection? What's the connection? There's no connection. He just does things. You know why? Because he can. Because he's like the richest fucking person in the world, the biggest fucking celebrity, the most famous guy in the world. He can just pee in a bottle and then hop on a jet and fly over and go, hey, Paul Levesque, can I see that paper? Can I see that paper? Fuck your paper. Fuck your raw format. Fuck your raw format. This is what we're doing.
Ibu, what are you gonna do when he explains that the three he meant Travis Scott, John Cena, and Jeff Cobb? What are you gonna do about it?
Here's the funniest thing. If you go back to the WrestleMania press conference last year, that started the whole like Cody scuffle that led to We Want Cody and shit. When he was first trying to justify Roman versus Rock to the fans before they turned on it, this is how insane he was, because he wanted to do the match where he's a babyface, Roman's a heel, and they're going to wrestle. His justification, because he's so insane, was, why are you booing? Look at this tree. And it's like, okay. He's like, this is my tree. This is my family's tree. And it's like, all right, man. Like that's enough. He thought we were supposed to like, oh my God, you're right. Look at this family tree. I want to watch this wrestling match. And it's like, no, you fucking maniac. Did you know, Anna, he wanted Cody to turn heel and join him. That was his first idea for this storyline. Cody and Triple H is like, no, motherfucker. What do you know?
But you know what? I feel like everything that he's doing now is just like his way of getting payback on the fans for booing him and Roman and not letting them do the match. That's how it feels. It feels like he was like just personally offended that the fans didn't want to see him versus Roman. And like he made it his life's mission to just destroy the fans' will to live.
And here's the thing about it, Anna. Most wrestlers are shoot freaks. Most of them are, right? The key is to channel your freakdom into interesting wrestling content. And Final Boss was the manifestation of all of his megalomania and anger at wrestling fans doubting him. And that's a cool thing. The fact that he at 51 was like, y'all think I'm not good anymore? I'll show you. I'll be the best wrestling character on TV. And it's like, oh, good job, Dwayne. But here's the thing about freakdom. Sometimes it results in that. Other times it results in what we're getting this year, which is just, I'm just going to do shit because fuck all of you. I'm going to just do shit. And it's so fun. Triple H, right? He's taking all his frustration out on the fans. Every fucking interview, stop criticizing me, you know. But like, it's so funny. Every time Rock comes up, there's this like twitch in his eye, and he's just kind of like, I mean, what do you want me to say? You know, what do you want me to do? He comes in, I can't say anything. Like he, you know, is it chaotic? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. You know, like he basically like, bro, fuck, I'm fucked. What do you want me to say? So
generally, Triple H, he deserves to deal with that, but like at the same time, I cannot imagine how stressful that is as someone just trying to hold shit together, and you have just The Rock calling you 10 minutes before, hey, I'm backstage, like open the door, you know. I was like, what?
I'll say this.
What are you gonna do? Like cut the women's match. I have something to say.
Literally, yes. Here's the thing. Rock is so nuts. But I'll say this. Speaking to people within the industry, Anna, uniformly, everybody that I talk to in wrestling, except for two groups of people, WWE main eventers and WWE creative writers, think this is all very funny. Like WWE mid-carders and jobbers, when Rock just does this shit, they just laugh. They basically, legitimately, they just laugh and take bets with themselves. It's like, yo, when do we think he's coming back? And they'll be like, a month. I'm like, no, next week. They're like, nah, Mania. And they just like take bets amongst each other. You know, WWE main eventers, they get stressed. Like, oh, fuck, what's going to happen now, dude? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to ask you to turn heel or some shit, you know? And the writers, obviously, they freak out. But that's Rock for you. Before we get to the super chats, what did you think of the match overall?
The John Cena Cody match.
Yeah.
Ooh. So in the beginning, like it was very boring for me. You know what I mean? I feel like the pace that they were taking was just not it, but it felt like they were building to something.
Yeah.
But it was one of the tell it as old as time when it felt like they were finally getting there. WWE pulled some bullshit, and in that case, Mr. Finn himself. So it felt like they were getting to a good rhythm. I was getting into the match. I'm like, ooh, they're cooking. Fing. I'm like, well, and the second that Travis Scott got there, and like literally no disrespect to him, you know, really like it's music and stuff, but like the second he got into the ring, there was no more energy. You know what I mean? It was gone.
Yeah, the atmosphere was unbelievable for the match. Like the fans are so into it.
Yes.
When the Travising happened, the fans kind of got like quiet and confused. They're like, oh, okay, so what next? You know what I mean? Like they were actually into the wrestling, they were into the people, and then it kind of just took them out. For me personally, right? They're working in a way with the pace and the style and the crowd atmosphere. It was that kind of classic style, like two super main eventers in a stadium. Like there's very few matchups that can create that type of environment. And with those types of matches, when there's that much heat, you can kind of strap in and be like, all right, I'll go ahead and do your thing, right? And I'm watching them, and it's a slow burn. And John's like, they're not having a complicated match, and John's not taking a lot of crazy bumps. But like, again, the atmosphere was there, and it kind of reminded me of like Rock and Cena's first match in 2012, but like not quite as good. But like it was similar to that, in my opinion. And so I'm like, all right, this is steady. It's gonna escalate. We're gonna get to the big submissions and things like that, and then we'll see what happens. And then what I assumed was like at some point we're gonna hit the point where it's cinema time, and then you get like Travis will be the first of many runouts. Like you'll get Travis, you get Rock, and then this person. And my philosophy, Anna, is this: you know, that's not my preferred style of big match wrestling. But if you're gonna do that and you're WWE and it's WrestleMania, then do it like big, like last year, for example, right? Like
No, last year was insane. I was about to say that. I say like also I feel like last year really got people like how to say just expecting
right,
those kind of things from now on. But that was a very kind of special occasion, you know. It was like Roman's reign finally ending, Cody finally getting the title, and then there was a lot of people that were. I mean, Undertaker was just there, but everyone else who showed up was involved somehow,
right.
you know. So there were like reasons for that to happen, but I think they made it very clear, like, okay, don't expect this every time, every year. But I think people were right to expect more than just Travis fucking Scott
Exactly.
showing up
Yeah,
to take one crossroads and like die
and
and
you
then
get the
celebrate
clap.
next to John Cena. And now to the end of time, whenever we have a video of John Cena like breaking the record for most title winnings, we're gonna have to see fucking Travis Scott right there. I cannot stress this enough. Imagine if when like Seth he went to do like his cash in, that iconic moment, Pitbull was next to him. Like people, guys, you just need to put it in your head.
Oh, no.
Music
Oh,
goes
yes.
very fast, right? Especially rap music, it goes so fast that things
Yeah,
like go around. In 10 years, people are look back and gonna be like, "What?" Of
yeah. It's
course,
gonna
he's
feel
still gonna
really
be big, but
funny.
like, it's not gonna age well.
It's
Remember
gonna
when
be really
Snooki had a match?
exactly. And now
It
you look
doesn't
and you go
know
like,
Snooki anymore.
and you go, that was
That's
so 2011. You just go, that was so 2011.
exactly,
That's a great
exactly.
point. It's a great point. And so that's why it's again, I'm not against celebrity involvement, but like him being the direct leading thing to the finish and it being executed the way it was is terrible. Um, I tweeted yesterday that Bobby Roode was the agent of this match. He also agented Gunther and Jay Uso, and I love Bobby Roode. You know, I think he's a great wrestler. I don't know what happened here, buddy. Because here's the thing: obviously, it's WWE's call for Travis to be in the match. Like that's beyond his scope, right? The agent's job is to implement all those elements and arrange the order of it, right, and the execution of it. I think he should have stepped in and said, "Hey, Hunter, in my opinion, Travis should just run straight out and really just go for it. And then you just kind of execute this a different way. Pausing the match the way it does fucks the momentum up, and you're not going to get
Yeah,
back. And I also think they should have agented a different, more creative finishing stretch. So, yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat as you with the main event match. As for the
yeah. I
show,
just want to take a quick moment to make something clear. I do not disrespect Pitbull. I love Pitbull. I'm going to Pitbull's concert in 2 months. So Dale, it was just the first name that I thought about.
Dale. I'll take that to make my confession. This is going to sound insane.
Mhm.
When I was in high school, when I first discovered Pitbull, I only heard him on like radio and shit or like in video mute commercials before I like knew he was. And I thought he was Sean Paul. I just thought I literally was like, oh, Sean Paul's back. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, cool. And then like I remember like I was watching some award show or some shit in like 2012, and it was like coming up Pitbull, and he's just like, hey, then I know I want you. I want you. I was like, who? Oh, I was like, who the fuck
Like,
is this?
I may be a fucking hypocrite, but if like the main event was happening, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and then out of nowhere it would have just been like, me not working hard. Yeah, picture that with a Kodak. Like I would have been popping so hard, jumping out of my bed and shit. Like, come on, Mr. Worldwide.
I also feel like bad for like the wrestling fans that don't know who the fuck Travis. I saw so many like 40-plus-year-old white people were like, who the fuck is this? And why should I care? And I was like, and it's one thing to be like, like you're out of touch, but I also feel like, dude, it is a wide spanning audience. There's gonna be a lot of people who are not gonna know who the fuck this guy is, so that's a tough one. The main event, we all agree, weird, bad, weird, just strange finish. Overall for the show, Anna, before we get to the super chats, I'll just say this broadly. I thought like the vibes were incredible for like an hour and a half. And I was sitting there and I was like, man,
Of night 2.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Big distinction. Night 1, Raw.
Right.
That was a Raw. That was a SmackDown.
Correct. But I'm watching this night 2, and like the first few matches, I'm like, man, this is going well. I'm like, this is going well. And I'm not like the biggest Dom guy, but he wins and the crowd is so into it and he's so happy. I'm like, good for him. It's good for Dom. I'm like, that's cute. Like, I like when it was very organic how the fans just kind of gravitated towards him, and then he won, and like the fans got what they wanted. I'm like, good for fucking Dom. And it was a really fun match, and Braun Breaker beasted the ladies. We'll talk about that in detail in a second, but oh my goodness, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, man, this goes up. Yeah, I'm like, and I'm talking to my brother. My brother says a funny thing. He goes to me, he goes, if this Randy Orton surprise delivers, we might go 7 for 7 tonight, and this will turn out to be a great show. And I said, yo, you know what? You're right. If Miro comes out or like someone, I'm like, yo, that'll be cool. And then AJ and Logan will be fine. And then like the women's match will be good. And then like this is gonna be a great show. And then say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Look, I got so many hater accusations for saying that having Joe Hendry fight Randy Orton at WrestleMania was wild. Like, the guy had a song go viral on TikTok 2 years ago. Like, okay, no, literally, I need to make it clear when I say these things. I am not saying anything about the wrestler as a person. Like, they're accomplishing their dreams. Very nice for him. Very nice for him. Not nice for me. Because it's fucking 3 a.m. I'm expecting maybe Sammy, maybe Jeff Hardy, maybe someone who would be exciting. And I have to explain to every single one of my friends on Discord who Joe Hendry is because they don't fucking know.
It just, look, man, if people like the gimmick, that's good for them. It's not my thing. It's even nasty here, Anna. So I have wrestling fans at my job, right? And they all like love WWE, right? And every single one of them I love him. He's my coworker. If he listens to this, he'll know he knows who he is. He drives by me with the forklift, right? And he'll be like, I believe in Joe Hendry, and he just drives away. And I'm just kind of like, they love him. I don't get it. Look, I don't get it, Anna. I don't understand it. I had a coworker briefly for 2 weeks. He was my coworker, and he's a young kid, and he's actually training to be a wrestler. He was training in the CZW gym or whatever, and he was talking about wrestling. And he's like, man, what are your thoughts on wrestling? I'm like, yeah, I'm telling him, right? And it was so funny. The second day we met, he was like, oh man, you know who I hate? I'm like, who? He goes, Will Ospreay, man, he fucking sucks. And I'm like, nah, man, he's really good. He's like, nah, man, he can't. He doesn't tell stories. He doesn't sell da. And I'm like, all right, At that point, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just respectfully distance myself, right? But then he doesn't stop there. He goes, you know who I really respect? He goes, I love Matt Cardona. I was like, okay, because what he explained, he was like, listen, he goes, the way he can self-promote and get himself over without a big machine, that's awesome. And I go, I respect that. You know what I mean? But then he goes, you know who's one of my favorite wrestlers right now? I was like, who? He goes, Joe Hendry.
I would have killed myself in front of him. Changed his life trajectory forever. Forever.
Yeah.
Traumatized him, man.
I don't know. To me, Anna, the vibe shifted from that point on in the night, and it never fully recovered. And we'll get into some of the matches in detail. But before we do that, folks, this is your opportunity now to get on some super chats. Get your super chats in. I will answer any question you guys would like me to answer. I'll cover whatever you guys would like me to cover and touch on. And same with Anna. Anna, again, you were on super chat reading duty today. It's how you justify your paycheck. So go for it.
You're just trying to set me up. I know you're just trying to set me up. You're just gonna be like the craziest super chat. I'm just gonna say a word that I don't know it's bad because English is not my first language and everyone's gonna attack me. And I'm gonna be like,
Anna says a slur on like YouTube. Go for it, Anna.
Just setting me up. Bizdark, thank you for the $10. Pretty mediocre WrestleMania for what it could have been. True. Cena Dub was the right choice, but the way the match went wasn't it. I don't know why Dom is over. His wrestling is kind of mid, but I will tap in though. Shout out to Cross.
Yeah, I agree with everything.
Wrestling is kind of mid, and then right after, shout out to Cross is a crazy.
I don't know, Dom kind of sucks. Hey, shout out to King Cross. It's like King Cross is somebody, Anna, who's getting really over online because he is fantastic at every aspect of wrestling except wrestling.
Many such cases.
Like portraying his character, projecting, talking, the aura, the presence, promos. You're like, man, this guy is on point. His mind for the business, the psychology, the psychological aspect of the business. It's like 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And then the bell rings and you're like, holy fuck, this guy stinks. Like, no offense. Like, Kevin, don't be mad at me. Like, don't block me. I'm just saying. I watched him at Bloodsport the other day and I faced JR Kratos. And I'm like, all right, outside of the WWE bubble, let's see what he does here. And like, he just like humps this like fat dude like on the mat for like 7 minutes. Really just not good. So I don't know what you do with Karrion Kross because he's amazing at everything except wrestling. And I
was gonna say like Jey Uso, like but Jey Uso's not like amazing at everything except wrestling. He's okay. But I was just gonna say like that it's WWE. That's not gonna stop him for being a champion probably in a couple of years,
But he's
like this man they're gonna see him doing like, oh my god, he did one promo. If the fans start cheering him, it's over. Next champion, belt it up.
We shall see. DB the Sage 9.99. Maybe it's because black
Okay.
and gold wrestlers are generally smaller.
Ibu.
Oh, I forgot. It's your job. Go ahead. Go for it. Go for it.
Remember what I said?
Yes, go for it. Go.
Know your place.
Oh,
DB the Sage 999. Maybe it's because black and gold wrestlers are generally smaller than main roster guys, but I believe Cross could put out decent matches if he just went back to wrestling like a big guy.
I don't know. I'll tell you this. When I first was watching him as Killer Cross, maybe a year before he went to NXT, I was like, this guy's pretty good. He's pretty good. And I watched him in NXT, right? And I remember people said he was shit. And like he obviously wasn't to the standard of like the black and gold super workers at the time. Like he was no Finn Balor, he was no, Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano. But
like Adam Cole at the time.
Right. And emphasis on at the time. But
At the time.
Right. But like I was watching him, I thought like I like his suplexes. He's all right. Like the look is good. He is so much worse now than he was back then. Like if you go back to 2021 Karrion Kross, if that Karrion Kross in the ring at that point in 2021, 2020 was doing like the stuff he's doing now with like the gimmick and the microphone stuff, I would push him at least to a degree. But right now he's regressed to a point where like he's just not very good at all. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I never thought he was great. I remember when he won the NXT title, that was just a bit like, why? Because at that point, NXT had so much like good talent as well. But it felt like, okay, he's solid in the ring. He's not bad, but everything else sucked. And now everything else is good, but he sucks in the ring. So the man for men. Dragon Master Adam, thank you for the 10 pounds. Is WWE's obsession with being a pop culture tentpole while showing off their magness every day going to be an issue for them, especially when the former sacrifices the actual wrestlers to some extent?
I have a semi scoop on this actually. So I asked about just kind of like the overt politicization of the promotion over the last week. I think that's the word. I hope it was. And one of the things I heard was like that. So this is WWE's like point of view on it, and Triple H and Nick Khan's point of view on it. Their belief, Anna, this is from them. Not like that I spoke to them, but I spoke to WWE and they were relaying their message, right? The belief is, look, we are in a place right now where we're going to be us, unashamed, unabashedly us. Everybody in our company is free to say whatever the fuck they want within reason. And so if there are people in WWE that are conservative and they talk shit on an interview, go for it. And if you feel that differently on the other side, go for that too. That's them. So they're claiming, Anna, that like if you're a hardcore bleeding blue lib in WWE, so to the 7 wrestlers that fit this description, you can go on an interview and literally be like, I think Donald Trump should insert beep. I won't say the word and get kicked off YouTube. That's their
But
thing.
you cannot say the word Palestine. That's crossing the line. Yes.
So again, Hunter thinks, Anna, he basically feels like, bro, say whatever the fuck you want, say how you feel, be yourself, say how you feel. So in their mind. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the message is basically, we're not trying to be publicly anything. We're just, as individuals running this company, being honest with ourselves and being open about it. And anybody in our roster is entitled to do the same thing. That's why if you notice, Anna, there's an increase of wrestlers on social media shitting on creative, because the talent have taken this and they go, we can be free. And instead of going like, go Trump with this like freedom, they're going like, fuck creative. This fucking sucks. Put me better. Like, because that's the thing. The talent are encouraged to just be more open on social media, and that's what they're doing with it. So there you go.
And I'd just like to also reply to that.
Yeah.
I think that right now, maybe not. Of course, there's going to be fans. They're not going to like that, like me. When Roman Reigns had the thing, I was like, yeah, let's stop asking people things. But in a few years, I think that's definitely going to be one of those things that kind of goes back and you're kind of like, oh, why did they do all that? But WWE always does that, and they always, unfortunately, still survive to that. So, but yeah, DB the Sage 999 again. Thank you so much. Also, to add on to the cross chat, Fightful has reported over the years that he was consistently getting his time cut while on SmackDown around the period where Shane was also complained about it.
Yeah, this did happen. At this time, it was because the Bloodline segments would kind of just go as long as they would go. Before they went to USA Network, when they were on Fox, there were times, Anna, where Roman Reigns would be scheduled for 20 minutes, and he'd be like, I think I'm just going to go 40. I think I'm just gonna go for it, and whoever has to deal with that has to deal with that. And Sheamus would be like, they'd go to Sheamus and be like, hey Sheamus, so your 12-minute match is actually 4 now, and he'd be like, bleeding fucking head, what the fuck, like he would. So
Stop doing accents, man.
and Cross is no different, so that was the deal with Cross.
Chi-Town Spurs, $10. Why did the guy who threw shoe stabs at AJ Styles with his hand tied behind his back and Powell drove KO into a leather despite the pleas of Sammy all of a sudden become too good to do a belt shot? Geek.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Nothing in that match made sense. Nothing. Like, the more I think about it, the more pissed off I am because nothing made sense. Like, Cody's just standing there like, oh, I can't do this to Cena, and Travis got the guys that almost fucking murdered him. Like, that was brutal. It was a brutal turn. It wasn't like Cena just turned his back on him. Like, they almost killed the man live on fucking TV, on pay-per-view, and now he can't do a belt shot.
It's crazy, Anna, because that's the thing. Chi-Town Spurs laid it out right there. Cody has always been a pragmatic, smart character who turnabout is fair play. If you do him dirty, he'll do you dirty. AJ Styles, I quit match. He's fucking handcuffed to like the ropes or whatever. He's going to take a fucking step and ram it right in your face because you deserve it. You're an asshole. That's the thing about babyface psychology and booking. Faces don't initiate certain really violent reactions. However, if you do something to them, it is fair and justified for them to match the energy. And that's what makes a good babyface. And Cody was always that. He did that with AJ Styles. He did it with Kevin Owens because Kevin Owens did him. He fucking packaged pile drove him. So yeah, I'm going to come back and I'll do the same shit to you, motherfucker. That's Cody Rhodes. Why now is he like, Cena, I can't hear you. Cena. What are you talking about? Now you just look like a fucking geek. In a match, he was getting booing.
Yeah, and especially like through the build of it, like there was no point in the building that he was like, John Cena, you were my hero and I love you so much. Because if there was something like, oh, he can't do this to Cena because Cena means so much to him, that's something, right? That's something completely else. But the whole build up is like, how could you do this? He was like more like you could see he was pissed that happened, and he was like, no, I'll keep my title. And it's like, so you would assume that means by any means necessary, but no, like it's
The modern fan is not gonna go, oh man, you're so virtuous, good on you, Cody. You're an idiot, dude. Like you're just a fucking idiot. Like you're
a geek. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you, Chi-Town.
Next one. Thank you. Then V900 999. Thank you. 3 shows were worth watching top to bottom for WrestleMania weekend. DPW, marvelous with the great Aja versus Senka match, and the Dragon Gate USA PWR show. You have to watch Lucha Solo's Panthers and the 6-man main event. Thank you so much for the recommendations.
Thank you, Dan, for the recommendations. I want to watch the Aja Kong match. I saw the highlights; it looked good. I'm not into watching a lot of the Mania Week independent stuff because it makes me really sad about the state of pro wrestling. However, DPW, here's some character development, Anna. Last time I remember being in this exact position with you, I was screaming. But DPW is a good indie. It is a good indie. So, yes. And I'll tell you what, Anna.
Wow.
I'm gonna watch their shows in Japan coming up in a couple days. They're running Japan this week, I believe, and so I will watch. Yes, shout out to DPW. Character development.
What happened?
I just I don't know. One day I was just like, you know what? Let me just watch this shit. And I was like, oh, it's pretty good.
So you were saying all of that without even watching. Good.
I saw some isolated matches, and I was just like, enough, I talk with Joe about this a lot. It's like sometimes wrestling fans, we're so vocal about shit we don't even fucking watch. We're just like, and then we're like, what changed? It's like, oh, I watched it. It's like pretty good. But yeah, shout out to the many indie shows. You know what? I'm also gonna give credit to something that I dunk on a lot, and that's NXT. NXT is a really stupid show, Anna. It's a really, really dumb show.
Yeah.
Like the logic behind why things happen are non-existent. A lot of times title matches are made because people will just gather in a circle and be like, I deserve a title shot. No, I deserve a title shot. No, I was here first and I asked Ava first. No, I asked Ava first. And then Ava comes in and then there's like 8 screaming beautiful women just yelling at each other. And right. And then Ava comes in. She has no surname now. She's just Ava. And she's like, no, guys, stop it. Stop it. Next week on NXT, we're going to have a 17-person battle royal gauntlet to decide the number one contender. And then in this 17-person battle royal roulette gauntlet elimination 2 out of 3 falls match that they booked, Anna, you'll get like a 7-weight pin. And then she's like, hold on. we're gonna do an 8-way match at the pay-per-view. And you're like, what? and then as she's making this announcement, another person will run out and attack these 7 girls. And then she's like, my hands are tied. It's a 9-way match. It's just a 9-way now. And you're like, okay. So I say all this to say NXT is really fucking stupid. It's really fucking stupid. With that said, the roster is very talented and they work their asses off.
They kill it.
And I'll tell you what, it's getting kind of consistent now. The NXT events are better than these main roster shows because, like, you look at the card on paper and you're like, this looks like a pile of steaming shit. And then you watch and you're like, that was kind of fun. You're like, that was kind of fun. And some of these matches are pretty good.
Hank and Tank.
Yes. Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Sure.
Hank Walker, sure. Anna, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger had better matches than like half the WrestleMania fucking card. Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. What are these names?
Hank and Tank. Hank. I just saw the thing. I did not know they existed, right? I don't watch NXT. I did not know that they existed. I just saw like the tweet. Hank and Tank beat Fraxium for the tag titles. I'm like,
what? What the fuck? Exactly. And yet these random people, these random chubby white men with fucking hockey jerseys had like a 4-star match with Fraxium, and up and down the card with all these random weird scramble matches and shit. Like, all these talent are working hard and working above their means. And this collection of people had a show that was better than night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania when WWE employs some of the best wrestlers in North America. Make it make sense. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Nothing about NXT makes any sense. And yet, again, Stand and Deliver was a good show. So shout out to NXT.
We're going back to like the natural order of things with NXT being better than main roster.
I guess
Stephen Conroy, 499 pounds. Thank you. If we get a Heyman-led stable, who do you think Heyman would ideally want to be part of it? And who do you think Seth would want included?
So Stephen is referencing Paul Heyman's interview with Pat McAfee. And Paul was basically asked, like, what are you going to do when Seth isn't around and Roman and Punk want to kick the shit out of you? Who's going to protect you? And he said, perhaps I should add some meat. Maybe I should go shopping. So I think he's hinting at maybe a new version of the Dangerous Alliance, which, for folks that don't know, in 1992, Paul Heyman led a stable in WCW called the Dangerous Alliance, which is a great mix of a bunch of just awesome heel wrestlers. And the best modern comparison for fans who, you know, aren't tapped in like that to that period is the Callis family. Don Callis just manages a bunch of badass heel wrestlers. Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita, you know, Lance Archer, Josh Alexander, exactly. It's just a collection of dudes, right? And I love stables. Like, there's not a lot of stables like that because like there usually has to be some type of unifying factor. And in Triple H's WWE, it's usually a unifying race for a stable. But you know,
just white men,
right? Just give me a bunch of dudes. Right. So give me just a bunch of dudes. Pause. And for me, I would do. You need a guy who can talk, who can work, who isn't like too good and can take pins. So Ethan Page.
I was literally gonna say Ethan Page. I'm so sorry.
It's like give me a guy who's like good enough.
Give me
not too good.
Like when you just say like give me a dude, I'm like Ethan Page would fit that like perfectly.
Right, just a dude. Yes. So ego Ethan Page. Seth Rollins is the leader. Give me Braun Breaker. Give me Braun Breaker.
That's some fire.
Bronson Reed and or Jacob, not Jacob Fatu, Jeff Cobb would fit as like a muscle thing, and I think I need like go ahead.
I think like I was gonna say Jeff Cobb, I could see happening, but I still think he's gonna go through like bloodline lore first. But I could, if he would debut as a Paul Heyman guy in that stable, I feel like it would be much more beneficial to him than putting him like with fucking like the Guerrillas of Destiny, you know?
I agree.
But like you said, races, they're gonna put them together. Like I also feel a tag team in the middle would be like an interesting mix, you know?
Yeah, we need to.
Because then they can do the whole thing. Yeah, because they're gonna do that thing like, oh, we're going for all the titles, we're gonna control everything, you know?
Yes. So you need some muscle. You need a young guy. You need Seth. You need a guy who's just a guy, Ethan Page. You need a tag team. You can maybe do for a heel tag team. It's like someone in my comments is like, maybe you put Theory and Waller. It's like, I don't know about Grayson Waller. Maybe Theory. Maybe you reset Austin Theory with that. You could do DIY if you want to do DIY. The bottom line is you need a tag team in there.
Yeah, I think DIY would be one that would be the most benefited. Is that the word in English?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beneficiated. Neither of us speak good English.
Beneficious beneficiar.
This needs to be
No, I don't.
the YouTube clip. Beneficiaries. They'll be the
Beneficiados.
Sure.
That's just
Sure.
Portuguese.
Prevenir. That's French.
Beneficial. It's gonna be the one. It's gonna be most beneficial to them. I don't
Right.
know the other way around. It's gonna be the most beneficial to them if they are in this faction. You know, I feel like what they've been lacking is someone that can like just put their aura up, because yeah, they can go on the ring. You know, they're good wrestlers. They're solid, but they just don't. They're just geeks. They're fucking geeks. They don't have any aura. The promos, like, you know, beneficial to them.
We'll figure this
Like
out.
Fraxton would be an interesting one as well, but I don't know about that.
I think they should be among the baby faces that oppose them. Here's the good thing about this Heyman stable is WWE TV in this regime.
Pretty deadly. Sorry.
No. Get it away.
They're gonna match outfits with Seth. Come on.
No, get it away from me. Anyways, I was gonna say the benefit. Anyways, the good part of Heyman having this stable is in 2023, that was the peak of WWE's TV in this regime. And the TV was structured around good guys fighting evil stables. Good guys versus the Bloodline back when Roman led it. Good guys versus Imperium. Good guys versus Judgment Day back when they had like a good team with Damian and Rhea and all that shit, right? And so in this case, you could have baby faces fight the Paul Heyman family or whatever you want to call it. And it could be, you know, Sami Zayn and Fraxium. It could be Sammy and Punk. You could do whatever. You could do all kinds of combinations. So I'm looking forward to that dynamic. But thank you for the super chat.
Thank you. Vernacular $4.99. Oh,
Monty.
be in the building to sing This Fire Burns, see Io solidify her spot, and Dom's reception will truly be core memories for me. Had a blast. Very happy for you. Those moments are really like.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Brian winning the title because, you know, after the whole like Cena thing, everyone was like tweeting that clip being like, this is how you do an iconic moment. So I was watching my videos from my phone, and yeah, like when you remember you were there, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's like I'm watching night one in and I'm like, man, this show really fucking sucks. And I will say CM Punk's entrance did reverse the vibes, and then they did have a match fun enough to where like it shows you how much an ending matters, because night one isn't a very good show at all, but like you walk away with it like with good vibes because like the match is a lot of fun. And then night two was like better, but then like it ended the way it ended and you're kind of just like all right, I guess. So it tells you, man, it's about how you finish.
Okay. I had to leave that in silence for a bit. Black Yakuza 94, $5. Incredibly weird vibes off that main. Let's keep going. Not even bad vibes like main at 39. It's just weird right now. Yeah, it just didn't feel like a WrestleMania. You know, that was my main thing, especially night one until the main event. The main event felt like a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
But like before that, it felt like I was watching the Raw before Mania or something. It was like, you know, when they call like WrestleMania SmackDown, like that's how it felt.
And
night one. And then night two, it was like.
Yeah. You know what's insane, Anna? The Andre Memorial Battle Royal on SmackDown was better than half the Mania card. How does that happen? Well, I know it happens. That match had Andrade, Rey Fenix, and fucking Carmelo Hayes, and WrestleMania had, you know, some of the people that
also Rey Fenix.
Sure. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think this WrestleMania made the best case for WrestleMania to go back into being a one-night show. Because if you had just like cut most of those matches, imagine if the card had been like Io, Rhea, Bianca, Charlotte, Tiffany, and you had like a fucking CM Punk, Seth Roman. You had the Intercontinental title match, Cody and Cena, because like you had to. And what was the other one that was also good from night two?
From night two, Damon and Drew was good. It was good.
Yeah, Damon and Drew. If that was the card, banger after banger after
banger.
It's
a great show. It's a hell of a show.
Exactly. Great show. And I would have put the ladder match for the tag titles all there. I don't know why it wasn't, but like, you know, it would have been a great show. Very solid.
Yeah, I agree. The card construction fucked them over this year. Cause like going into the show, we were looking at the cards like, I don't know. And we ended up getting a mixed bag because, as a result of it. So we got to put better wrestlers on these fucking cards and better matchups. But thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you, Jay Stone 499. I love The Rock, but it pains me to say that his Slick ruined the Bloodline story towards the end, and Cena selling his soul made no sense. Yeah, we talked about it, but
Yep. Yep.
he the Cena thing was just I fully believe he's gonna just show up this week or next week and just do like a stupid like Cena, like you have to do the impression because I don't know.
Uh,
Thank you. He's just gonna go there and say like thank you and leave and never come back
he
for
walks
like
on.
6 months until he feels like it.
No, Anna, you're missing. He's gonna say something vague, and he's gonna say a thing that like leads to a fake mystery. So it's like, you've been making me proud, John, but you need to do the thing that'll make me really proud.
Do you remember when Eric Rowan had the cage?
Yes.
That's the feeling that I get with The Rock. Like, but he's just the cage himself. Everything he does is a cage. But when they remove the thing from the cage, it's not even a spider. It's just nothing.
Exactly.
You know, it's like a dead spider.
But because he has a fake mysterious gimmick, Dwayne does. He has to like make you guess about himself. He can't just show up and be like, if you're some man, and walk away. No, he has to say something that makes you go like, ooh, what's going on? I genuinely think Dwayne gets horny off of like people being unsettled by him. Like I think he likes confusing people, including his coworkers. I think he likes walking in and the writers don't know what's going on, and he's like, hey, here's your new paper. There's nothing on it, Dwayne. Exactly. You're like, what? So I think that's his thing.
Yeah. He just gets off out of it.
Yeah. Thank
Next
you,
super
Jay.
chat, Monty. Thank you. DB the Sage 499. EOFC demands Io praise Ibu. Matter of fact, make it a long tweet. A long tweet.
I won't make a long tweet, but I'll talk about the match right now. We'll talk about Io versus Bianca versus Rhea Ripley. This opened the show. This was a match that many fans wanted to main event WrestleMania Night 1. This is a match that CM Punk came out publicly on the Ringers wrestling show with Shoemaker and Kazim, and he said that he felt that this should have main evented Night 1 over his match. And I agree with you, Phil Brooks, and I agree with the WWE fans that have advocated for this. This match, Anna, was the best wrestling match of the week, in my opinion. Any company, now mind you, I think the best wrestling show this week was AEW's show on Wednesday, like pretty by a distance. But I think the best individual wrestling match I saw all week was Io versus Bianca versus Rhea. I knew this was going to be really good, but like I don't love triple threats, and I thought like it might have some issues. This was incredible. Incredible. The near falls, like I'm having heart attacks on some of these near falls. Like just the breakups, the creativity, the fact that in a WWE that's getting increasingly finisher reliant, they were able to create drama and suspense without just going KOD, 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 Riptide, 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 Moonsault, Moonsault. No, they're doing like creative, different shit that's making you guess and making you like get misdirected and shit. So I'll let you take this, but I didn't expect Io to retain. But she's in the match. I just wanted her to look good and for the match to be good, right? She looked great. The match was great. The crowd loved her. They loved her. And she won. She fucking won. I thought she was just going to get a nice little participation trophy title win that was going to end at WrestleMania. That's what I thought. I'm like, okay, it's going a month and then she loses it. No, she fucking won. Oh my God. Talk about it, Anna.
I was screaming. I felt my soul leave my body. I love Io, and in my head I was like, yeah, if she wins, it's gonna be fucking amazing. I want her to win, but there's no way, right? Like, there's just no way she's gonna win, man. Like, Triple H, he loves her. He gave her the title, so she's at WrestleMania walking in as champion for the second year in a row. But there's no way, like, and then she did. That's my goat. That's my fucking goat. Yeah. What an amazing match. I always knew from the beginning, I said that's probably going to be the best match of the entire WrestleMania. You guys were saying, like, oh, but it's a triple threat. I was like, it is. Some triple threats are good. I do not understand triple threat. When it's three fucking great wrestlers that know what they're doing, triple threats are fucking phenomenal. Like this match, it didn't feel at any point like, oh, this match would have been better if it was just this person versus this person. Like, no, they all had their moments. They all added so much to the match, and it was amazing. Those are the three, like, I think in best women's wrestlers in WWE right now. I don't think there's a doubt about it, right? Mm-hmm. If you think anyone is better, but those three are the best, like in ring, in main roster. Now let's not talk about like Stephanie and etc. But main roster, best women's wrestler in WWE right now. Some of the best women's wrestlers in all of North America. Io, one of the best in the world in history of all time. There was no way this match could have gone wrong, but somehow they made it like even better than it was expected. And with the perfect ending, which is Io finally not being overlooked anymore and winning by breaking Bianca's streak, which is even more important. I know a lot of people are very sad that Bianca got pinned and the streak was broken, etc., etc. Like, it had to happen at a point, and it happening with Io, I think, is the best choice. Because if it wasn't with Io, it's going to be Charlotte. People are going to be crying about it a lot more, you know? With Io, at least we have like a happy ending. So I think it was a phenomenal match. Yeah, it should have been the main event. And if it was a main event, I would have watched them wrestling for 20 more minutes. And I feel like it would have been fucking
and
amazing.
you know what blew my mind? I haven't even checked it on Cage Match, but someone wrote to me in my reply that this match was 14 minutes, and like my jaw dropped. I was like, what?
Exactly. What? I saw that tweet. I saw a tweet that it was like, yeah, they did all this in 14 minutes, and it didn't even click me to that moment how short it was. Like 14 minutes, okay, it's not short, but for a match at WrestleMania, it felt like they did so many things. You know, they did not take breaks. It was foot on the gas the whole time, nonstop. I really wish to see what they would have done with a bit longer time, but there's absolutely no complaints. We know that, like Mariah and Tony, for example, you know?
Yeah, they had like 11 minutes.
Really, exactly, and people can do really great things in little time. But
you know what's funny about that?
That should have been...
stop you. That was AEW Revolution, right? And Mariah and Tony had a match that incredible, and they did it in 11 minutes, and it didn't main event, even though people wanted its main event. And the main event was Mox versus Edge, and that match fucking sucked. Now, let's fast forward.
Worst fucking main event.
These ladies had a match that people wanted the main event, and it didn't main event, and it was fucking incredible, and they did it in 14 minutes. And the match that did main event was John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, and the finish of that match, overall, in this total package of that, fucking sucked. And similarly, both women's matches have over 9s on Cage Match, and the men's matches that main evented have 3s. So something to take note of. You know, something to take note of.
Period. No, it was just amazing. I'm really happy for Io. I really hope that they do right by her title reign, because Io is the kind of wrestler that if you just put her to wrestle every week at every single show defending against a different person, like the workhorse champion, you know what I mean? Like, she has to be that person. That's her whole thing. So they just should give her matches every single week. Let her defend the title like crazy. Like, let's go, you know? But at the same time, I was going to say, like, it would have been a perfect, amazing main event, but it was also the most perfect opening you could have ever had. And I think one of, if not the best WrestleMania opener of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it got me so hyped from that match on. I was like, okay, this is WrestleMania. This is what we're here for. And then Logan Paul walked in.
Exactly. 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 I do want to shout out Bianca and Rhea, who were also excellent in this match. I'm very excited for them. They're going to do a second Evolution show this year. I'd like to see them have a fucking Hell in a Cell match. I want them to beat the shit out of each other. I like seeing Rhea Ripley hits hard, and when she's with another woman who's just as like tall as her and strong as her and can kind of take it, she really dishes it. And she was kind of throwing some elbows at Bianca.
They were clobbering each other. They're beating each other up.
She's so down for that. Like, she goes like, bitch, I will hit you back, and she's just and they're just elbowing each other and swinging, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm like the gift of the boxing referee who's like, oh shit, you know, I'm that. And I'm watching them, I'm like, yo, I want to watch them fight. I really want to. So I hope we get a Hell in a Cell match. I want Rhea Ripley bleeding. I want Bianca throwing her fucking through a table and shit. I just want to see them go at it. So shout out to all 3 of those women.
Yeah. And Bianca, by the way, best outfit she ever wore. She looked absolutely, all of them looked gorgeous, but Bianca was just like
incredible. Yeah. Next super chat.
Okay, good. Next super chat. Almost got me. Ibo, you can say it. You said already last week. Go ahead.
Give me Backshots Salamonster. $5.
Bianca is just, wow, exactly what we were saying. There's other women that are also elite and have been at it longer, but no one gets me more hyped than Bianca in a big match. Big match, Bianca, man. She just, Bianca always, but I feel like, yeah, there was the whole thing, people were booing her lately, and yeah, I know, but like the second she gets in the ring and she gets going, no one was booing anymore.
Absolutely.
Just
absolutely.
That's all I can say, period.
Thank you.
Ryan Cecchini, $6.99 Canadian dollars. Seemed like the indie shows were a mixed bag. Heard anyone standing out? Bozilla and Lana Cross showed out a bit. I actually did not heard I did not. The only thing from indie shows that I heard the entire weekend was Mercedes and Kenji. It's like,
Yeah, shout out to Mercedes Monet. She just loves the game, and she actually is about that life when it comes to elevating women's wrestling. Like she says that, like a lot of people say that shit and they just kind of like don't act on it. She does because she has the means to do so and the ability to pull it off. And she's just going anywhere and elevating people that she sees something. And she worked fucking Indy Hartwell at House of Glory. She worked this young lady, Kanji, at the Rev Pro show at High Stakes. Shout out to her. Regarding the American Indies, it's over, Anna. Like it's over. So it just is what it is. But thank you.
thank you. Vengeminator 999. Jeff Hardy was the play for the open challenge for TNA, guys. The WWE were in a corner and clearly played TNA and Hendry a fat check. Awful. Laughed so hard at the guy who replied to you / said they'll take Matt.
We'll talk briefly about Hendry here. I thought he came off like I thought he came off like a scrub, to be completely honest with you. He walked out. But here's the funny thing. I thought that, but I also thought that's objectively how a Joe Hendry Randy Orton match should go. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, there's no chance on God's green earth that this is a back and forth match. This match should literally be Randy smoking him. And then they went back and forth for like 2 minutes, and then Hendry does this dumb little smile, and Randy goes RKO, and then he pins him 1, 2, 3. Randy's like, "Come up, your little mark," and he shakes his hand, and then RKO's him again, and I'm like, "Oh, that's perfect," you know. But
but mind you, that's the TNA World Champion, huh?
Right. And look, there's gonna be people that do the thing of like, it got a lot of exposure. It helps him. It gives him the rub. He looks like a bigger star. It's like, bro, he got squashed. Randy Orton probably doesn't know his name. But okay, big exposure, big, sure, WrestleMania moment. That's the thing about it, Anna. I watch wrestling like a wrestling fan, but these people, they watch everything with moments in mind and like posts and gifts and the clips. So he got to hug Randy.
Twitter video, the real.
Right. This guy is the champion of a company, and Randy Orton like ruffled his head and gave him a second RKO just because he thought he was a fucking geek. Like, I don't know, man. If it was me, I'd say, hey, can we not book it like that? But I don't know. I'm a self-respecting man, so whatever. I'm glad.
And also because like the match was supposed to be like Randy and KO. It was supposed to be like a fucking bar burner. It's supposed to be probably one of the best matches of the weekend as well. That didn't happen, right? So they still keep Randy on. So you think, okay, if they're doing an open challenge or something to replace that, then it's probably gonna be something banging, So Jeff Hardy, sure, he would have lost, but like it would have been fucking Jeff Hardy returning WrestleMania. That's objectively a bigger moment than viral music from 2 years ago, guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's like objectively a bigger moment.
Yeah.
So if they wanted the clicks, if they wanted the engagement. Anyway, Dre Arner's $4.99. I never forgot you was talking kind of crazy about Seth a while ago, Ibu. Yes, Ibu, hashtag burn it down, hashtag Seth freaking, hashtag he's a Paul Heyman guy, hashtag what they gonna say now, hashtag big dog backstage.
I'll say this. Go ahead.
Talking crazy about my man Seth Rollins.
I've
insane things.
I've always been a Seth. I've always been a Seth. I'll say this about Seth. His promos have been good lately. And I'll tell you what, all my Seth dislike goes away when he wears the white gear. Something about that white gear is just cool, So what I'm really excited for, I'm excited to no longer hear Minneapolis. I am a visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am Seth Friggin' Enough. No more of that shit. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. They called him a pin eater. They said he was dead to the match just to take the pin. They said there was no chance for him to do it to win. They said that he wasn't supposed to be there. Who's laughing now?
Hey.
Slim Reaper 35 $9.99. The real elephant not being mentioned enough is the part of the report at Rock / Triple H tension. This was an FU to Triple H for the pivot last year, and Triple H getting the credit for Rock's carry job.
Could you, man, Anna, just The Rock watching back as they go like the Triple H era. Look at this creative genius, Booker of the Year. The Rock's like, that main event thing was my idea. What the fuck, So I'm not going to speak on any of their attention because people like yelling at me for saying that I propagate things. So the bottom line, I'll say this about Rock and Hunter: they're going to deny any static if you ask them. So it's almost useless saying anything. So I'll say nothing.
Yeah. Go Birds XTL 499. Do you think we get the NXT Women's Big Three tonight? Maybe as one of EO's next challenge. Oh, if Julia comes out, like I'm not a man, but I'm busting somehow against all odds.
I'll say this, there are things I'm looking forward to on this Raw episode, none of which have anything to do with Jey Uso or John Cena. I really could not care less. I think like during John's segment, I'll literally like mute my TV, but I am excited to see what's next for Io Sky. And I think, listen, I'll say this about WrestleMania, Anna, respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Between WrestleMania and NXT, when I'm watching the women in the women's title match, like Jordan Grace and Stephanie, you know what I thought? I thought that there are certain women in this company that have reputations, and so that's why that they're positioned where they're positioned, and I get that. But maybe the performance isn't up to the level of some of these other ladies that I'm seeing on this weekend, is the best way to put it.
I have nothing to say against. Someone said that women can bust. That is crazy.
Just read the next super chat.
Okay, sorry. Eddie Rush, 599 euros. Did Cross work himself into a shoot last night, or is this part of a larger angle? Scarlett looking aghast and saying, Kevin made me laugh. Low, not gonna lie.
He was
Ibu,
just
you
mad.
take that one.
He was just mad, bro. He was mad and said, I'm going to cut a promo and get away with it. And if I get fired, it is what it is.
Go Birds XTL 499. Which of the WrestleMania weekend three-ways was best and worst? The women's was the best.
The women's was the best. The worst is tough because I think the three black men that main evented NXT, I think their match was as good as Punk's match in a different way. I thought the action was probably better in the Javon Oba trick one, but like the Punk one had like bigger like vibes to it, bigger stakes, like the everything. I went 4.25 on both of those matches, even though Punk's match, I'll say this, the Punk three-way has more flaws than any of the other two. Because like a lot of that kind of theatricality and shit isn't like my thing, dialogue and stuff. So that's probably the most flawed.
Calling the Punk three-way when Seth won.
He's the man. Go ahead, Anna.
Disrespect. User a hard $5. As someone who doesn't watch WWE and enjoys Triple H getting his feelings hurt, The Rock is incredibly beast. I hope he does this for another 5 years.
You just know.
He's just petty.
Yeah, it's insane.
I cannot judge him. Hush 499. I'm really not looking forward to the Jey Uso ring. I get that he had to win. He did not have. Okay, he's holding this bout until SummerSlam. Very unfortunate. Someone save us.
Here's the thing about it, Anna. So
he did not have to win.
Jey Uso
he had to win. Why? Because people do eat. Because people did not even fucking cheer. Okay, he won. It was fucking Dominic Mysterio had a bigger pop.
But that's a fact. Like he was more over at Mania. Here's the thing about Jey. You didn't have to book the match at all. Like you really just did not have to. And here's the thing. He has 2 matches in the last year and a half that I would say are very good. They are with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And Braun is free now to chase the World Heavyweight belt. And so as I'm mapping out Jey's run, those are 2 matches that will be good. Seth and Braun. I don't think either will be the immediate match, though. And so here's the problem, Anna. The question is, who is the Backlash match if it's not Braun or Seth? What are the heelers on Raw? And I'm going through the list, and I'm like, oh, my fucking God. He's going to face Logan Paul.
I'm going to kill myself. The thing is, there is not, if Gunther... Motherfucking people were trying to disrespect Gunther's name like they did with Zack Sabre Jr. after the Shota match. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna repeat all the same things that apply to that match apply to this one. Imagine you are so shit as a wrestler that you managed to make Gunther look bad. You should take like a hard look at yourself in the mirror and be like, should I be even doing this? Should I be a wrestler? And the answer is no.
Anna, here's the deal. Gunther had a better match with The Miz on a Raw episode last year. Next super chat.
Gunther, that was one of the best matches Jey's ever had in his singles careers. That did not even break Gunther's top 200, bro.
No.
Like, are we gonna get into that match, or should we take a pause and get into that match now? Because I have things to say.
Wait, Jey Uso? We're not even covering that show. But if you want to bear the match,
no. Just want to bear Jey Uso as a concept, as a wrestler. I was gonna say as a human person, but I don't know him as a person. But I just need to say this, right? People saying like, oh, but it makes sense for Gunther, for his characters to tap out. Shut the fuck up. Like, they using the fucking Ilya Dragunov video to say that it made sense. Did you even fucking watch that match?
Clearly
Like,
not.
are you...
It's a totally different feud. It's a totally different feud.
The fact, now that every time that they say it, they're gonna have to say the only two people to tap out Gunther are Ilya Dragunov and Jey Uso. That's just like, that makes me feel physically sick. It's literally saying like, oh, two foods that you can eat. You can have a fucking Wagyu steak or a pile of shit. Like, it's not supposed to be in the same fucking sentence. Gunther, I am so sorry. I am so fucking sorry.
They're eating in the chat, Anna. Black Yakuza is eating in the chat.
They can jump out of a window. I don't care. I'm sweating. Gunther, my guy. And the thing is, they made Gunther look like such a fucking geek because there was no build. The match was shit. And then he's just there like, oh, like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, no,
How do you explain that?
I would have
I knew he was gonna lose. I was fucking mentally preparing for him to lose, right? I was like, sure, this is gonna happen. I know this is gonna happen. I'm not fucking delusional. But the way that they did it was just nasty. It was petty. It was just like disgusting. There was some personal hatred there, like that felt so like xenophobic. I don't know how to explain. Something was not right. Right? Like that was Gunther, I don't know what he did. Maybe like he fucked someone's wife. Like, I don't know what happened for them to take that decision. But that was personal. That was not okay.
It was
not
insane.
okay.
It was definitely.
It was offensive to wrestling as like a thing. Just the concept of wrestling, that was just offensive to it. But
as you
Zion
said,
Burks.
No, I was gonna say, as you said, just the concept of Jey Uso.
The concept. It personally offends me.
Right.
So Zion Burks 499. Imagine how much dunking AW and TK could be doing on the fat if Swerve was world champion right now, heading into a match with Hangman.
Yeah.
Darby has to climb Everest, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Black Yakuza 94, $5. The fact that Rock can just do whatever the fuck he wants and there's not a goddamn thing Hunter or anyone can do about it is so goddamn funny. It is hilarious.
He's not a real person.
Yeah. Hush 499. Oh, what's more likely, Triple H quitting because of $7 FC or TKO firing him? Probably. I don't think they would fire him.
Ooh, what would happen? I think TKO would I think TKO in like 2 years. I think they'd be like, business is down, Hunter. What's going on? I could see that.
Yeah. Diva the Sage 499. Thank you. Ibu looked into the shit he was on with DC and Black Adam.
Oh, insane. He basically was making
Black Adam.
He wanted DC to like literally just change the plot to what he wanted, even though like it had nothing to do with like the original characters and their backgrounds and stuff. He's just like, actually, no, how about I just fight Superman and work with Superman? It's like, that had nothing. You're a Shazam character. What are you talking about, dude? Anyways.
Diva the Stage 499. Cena's description today of his plan for this reign is quite literally Death Riders.
So for those that don't know, Cena came on back to the show and he was just like, my plan is to ruin wrestling. And I'm the last champion. And you will never see this championship again. And I will ruin wrestling. And you're like, that's what John Moxley said. All right. What is with the Anna? We're going to watch. There are going to be two major companies where the top heel is like, you will not see this championship. Why?
Like, what is the point? What is the fucking point? Mason 346 $9.99. Dwayne getting more blame. No, wait, sorry. I just need to go back. Like, John Cena's not gonna show the title, and fucking Jey Uso is the other champion. It gets worse. Dwayne getting more blame than Big Nose for the trash booking is exactly why he purposely stayed away. Motherfucker had 2 months to title book Hugh Cena and failed. Yet Dwayne gets blamed while Nose still scratch.
I will say, Paul Levesque absolutely could have booked a far better road to WrestleMania. And I've been very vocally critical about the fact that he spent his media week basically saying, why are you guys burying my booking? And it's like, maybe it should just be better, buddy.
I have not to say that. Ryan Sacchini for $6.99 Canadian. What tag and female would you add to Heyman group? I would go Profits and Julia or say Zoe. No, Zoe, please God, no Zoe. I would say Julia would be very beast because I feel like imagine Julia as a Paul Heyman girl. Like just her with the braids being a fucking killer. That would be so cool. Like I would definitely do like a Julia shout is very good. Who else?
Standing to my left is the most violent striker in all of women's wrestling. She dominated
Beautiful
Stardom.
madness.
She dominated Marigold, the beautiful Magnus, Julia, and she's fucking shadow boxing and shit. She has a do-rag on.
Just watch them add like Cena Baszler or something.
No, wow.
Pylon's $5. What's the reaction from AW wrestlers whenever Rock shows up and does whatever he does?
Immediate laughter. Like I'm not making this up when I say I get like laugh emoji text immediately, or like in all caps. Let's go.
It's IT Sumi, I $5. The way MJF made Samoa tap out with the tape is what Cena should have done to Cody, with Cody fighting and struggling to sleep.
I agree.
He should have just kept killing him.
Yeah.
Caesar Night. Sendai Girls posted a tweet that said that they could have a controversial announcement soon. Hopefully, they just got a WWE talent for a match and aren't selling.
It'd be fire if Meiko Satomura could fight Io Shirai.
Yes, but then that wouldn't be a controversial announcement. But I would sell my firstborn child for that match again. Like, they had one of my favorite matches of all time, like 2015 or something.
Yeah.
At a Stardom show. I think I've talked about the match like fucking 9 times already in the podcast, but like, come on, that match is just surreal. Yeah. So and Meiko is gonna retire also. So that would be a match that I think they have to run it back, and especially for the title, that would be like the best case scenario.
Absolutely. I'm pro selling your children for wrestling dream matches.
Hell yeah. Masp $4.99. Do you think Fatu is gonna have a Gunter IC type reign?
So
I hope so.
I have insight on this. I was told that they're going to treat that like the world title on SmackDown. And I was told that before Mania Night 2, which basically spoiled to me that John Cena was beating Cody, because it meant, oh, he's going to beat him, leave, and then they only have the U.S. title. So that is why it's the main event belt of SmackDown. But yeah, Jacob's going to get a lot of burn with that belt, and it's going to be treated like a top belt.
Oh, yeah. He's also like Io we were talking about. He just needs to have a match every week, and it's sold. Yeah. There's nothing else. Stephen Conroy, £4.99. If the Cody booing persists, there's basically zero great worker top guy baby faces. Would it be the final nail in the coffin of this era?
I think Cody will reverse that trend, because it was only a 2-night thing in Vegas, and I think that was. I'd like to think the booing was based on the fact that fans just wanted John Cena to win the match because it's Cena at the end of the day, and they know it's not real, so they're not like actually mad at him for being a bad guy. So I think that's what that is. But Sami Zayn is also a good working main eventer. But to your point, there are a lot of pushed baby faces that can't really go to the level you'd love them to. And Seth Rollins is one of those guys, but he's turned heel. So it's like, what do you do? But yeah, we'll see what happens with Cody.
Yeah, and Monty, he said in the chat that Cody's not going to keep getting booed, but you forgot. WWE fans can be very stupid. The wrestling fans as a whole, I'm not going to even put in WWE, can be very stupid. Bianca, she was booed once, and then everyone ever since started booing her for no reason.
We're going to just copy this now. Yeah, that was awful.
Exactly. So, like, Brendan Stark, $5. They will go back to Vegas, but the West Coast Stadium showed, like, aura due to being light into the main event. It hurts undercard and entrances.
Yeah, I actually don't. I like the afternoon visual for the undercard, but, like, I wanted the sun to set, like, towards the main events. And, like, the sun doesn't set until the very last match, and I don't love that. I don't love it.
I don't mind either way. They beat the Sage. I have to stay up until 5 a.m., so I don't care. They beat the Sage $4.99. Ivo, Anna, after the last few women's world title reigns have been met, how would you book a great Io reign if you had a pen? Like I said, very simple. Give her good matches, at least 10 minutes every week to just go out there and wrestle. And good wrestlers, okay? Don't give me none like a fucking Sonya Deville or like whoever, Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega would be fine. Whatever. Just give her like good, solid wrestlers every week. Show some NXT women up there. Give her open challenges.
Yeah.
And then at pay-per-views, 15, 20-minute matches with actually good competitors, right? No pay-per-view match with fucking Sonya Deville. Like, I'm sorry I'm using Sonya Deville's name. I cannot think of anyone else. Just give her good opponents. It's Io. She can make magic work. They don't need to be like the best wrestlers in the world. They just need to be solid. I
think above everything else, though, it's like Dominic is not going to do what Io does, and Jey Uso is not going to do what Io does. I think you can absolutely draw a contrast to where she can be the sports style champion, where she's just a champion that has clean, matches without any bullshit surrounding it. And they just,
Sonya was fired, guys. I'm so sorry, Miss Sonya Deville. I'm so sorry.
you know what's funny? I remember that halfway through the rant, and I said, "She's already in. It's too late. It is what it is. Like it is what it is." But yeah,
Oh no.
I'm just looking forward to her having a reign that stands out for being a wrestling title reign. So thank you, DB Desage, and here's to hoping that that's what happens.
Yes. Yeah. They're gonna need that based on like the world champions.
Exactly.
Justville 499 EOFC. They said grabbing the tag rope. Then they said we were gonna with their stake the pin. What they're gonna say now? And Punk FC, we finally got our Mania moment. So yeah.
Shout out to
both
EO.
winning, Evil.
Yeah, we're both funny. I think so. Yeah.
Mike M5 Canadian, thank you. Hunter running a press tour talking about social media not being a real place and booking Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton is a great rip. Him saying, yeah, social media doesn't control him. Fucking Joe Hendry.
Yeah, he's a criminal.
He's so chronically online.
Yeah.
Brian Cecchini, $6.99 Canadian. WWE needs to lean on the women for the next 6 months while the men's division to figure shit out like NXT did when Braun and Eli left. Yes, but also then they need to send more women up from NXT because in the main roster, except for Io, Rhea, Bianca, and then maybe Bailey, and now Becky's back, Lyra. Yeah, they have like very solid names, Charlotte, Tiffany. But what else is there?
Yeah. You want to beef up that mid card. You want to call up some girls. I'm curious.
Yeah, the mid card needs to be a bit stronger.
Stronger. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Trust the Process 34, 499, thank you. Paul Duck Rivers Levesque. It's always somebody else's fault. Blame Rock, blame Far Timers. Meanwhile, motherfucker sits in pressers acting like he's Scorsese.
Oh my god. If we had more time, I would just have a rant about this man. But yeah,
he keep dunking on Triple H, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was gonna say?
Nah, just better unsaid. Go ahead. Just go.
Yeah. Taika Don kick. 499. Thank you. Hopefully my ring now can work. No, if he loses to that shit thing, Jey Uso. There has to be something in play, like beating Cena if he loses to Jey. At this point, after making him lose that way,
I am very curious what is next for Gunther. I'd like to see him tag with Kaiser, to be completely honest with you, for at least a little bit. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I am very curious. I think he's gonna definitely take some time off, like for sure, for a long time. I feel like a few months, but I would love to see him and Noah. Him versus Marufuji would be a great match. Black Yakuza 94, $5. Hunter and Rock's rivalry is so hilarious because either you get some good shit like 40 when they work together, or you get a disaster classic 41.
Exactly.
They have like such a girl coded, like like enemies to lovers, like they push and pull, like it's cute. It's cute. Unless it's just not cute when I have to watch fucking Travis Scott at 5 a.m. walk in for 2 minutes, but that's okay. Mass 499. Ibu, have you heard them possibly doing King and Queen of the Ring in TV?
When I asked, they said we won't rule it out, but they wouldn't commit to it. It's not going to be a pay-per-view this year, but they did not rule out it being a TV tournament.
Darren Walker, £2. Thank you. What do you guys think of WWE buying AAA?
Okay, so yeah. This is a really heavy subject, to be honest with you, and it comes with so many different factors. And truthfully, I think the best people to cover this are like Lucha Libre Online and Lucha Blog. But I'll basically give you guys the layman simplification of what's happening. Basically, the Roldans and the Peñas, who run and own AAA, they've been looking to sell this thing for years, Anna. They have some issues with debt because of some business ventures that they've attempted that didn't work in their favor in recent years. And they've been looking to sell for a little bit now, dating back all the way to honestly, since their founder, Antonio Peña, passed away around 2006, a couple years after that, they were looking to sell. They've always been looking for somebody as a money backer, someone for cash infusion, somebody to just kind of help it out or just take it off their shoulders, right? And they've been actively looking for WWE to buy them since 2018-ish. And in the last couple of years, there's actually been some conversations taking place. Now, I'm sure Triple H, his ears perked up. He's probably like, wait a minute, NXT Mexico, but basically there's been some conversations. When AAA did that stunt, they did a stunt in 2022, late 2022, where it was Dragon Lee and Dralistico, who Dragon Lee was not in WWE yet, and they faced FTR, who were the AAA tag champs. And FTR dropped the belts to Dragon Lee and Dralistico, and then live on the show, right after Dragon Lee won the belt, he was like, "Thank you, everybody. I'm going to WWE and I'm relinquishing this title." And like AEW was like, "What the fuck? Huh? What?" Well, so the deal with that was they were trying to get in the good graces of WWE. So that's why they double crossed AEW, who was a loose working partner at the time. Kenny Omega was going to AAA and all that stuff, right? Anyways, they've been working on this deal. This is a transaction that was starting to get put together for a little while now, and it can be presumed that AEW's announcement of Grand Slam Mexico led to WWE speeding up the finalization of this transaction. Why is WWE doing this? Numerous reasons, but the biggest is they're trying to make inroads in Mexico. They know that by purchasing AAA, they can do a couple things. You see, with an infusion of TKO money, Anna, they can outbid CMLL for some of their wrestlers. Because here's the thing, people are going, AAA's roster sucks. What do they have there? Well, yeah, there's not much there now, but they can go to Mascara Dorada and say, hey, would you like to come to AAA? Boom. And they could do that with some of their top guys. And here's the thing with CMLL, it has a very sustainable culture and formula to where CMLL knows that they're going to lose wrestlers. They lose wrestlers regularly. They just lost Stephanie Vaquer last year, but it's a regular thing, right? Because they don't pay the wrestlers that much except for the tippy top guys, because they know that no matter what, Anna, they're going to be a tourist attraction. The Friday shows are always going to be packed in Arena Mexico because tourists come. And their in-house training system and their in-house star-making factory is such to where they can lose guys and make the next guy up. Every year they make new stars. And so I say all that to say, CMLL is not going to get into a bidding war with WWE over some of their top wrestlers. They might for the very, very top, and Mystico gets taken care of. But a lot of these other people that stand out, like if let's say WWE tries to get Templario, they might just succeed in doing that if they actually put real money into that, right? And CMLL will just go, fuck it, we'll make somebody else. Anyway, so my point is, they're going to do that. They're going to platform AAA. They're going to send their wrestlers to AAA shows, market it as, look at this Mexican-born WWE superstar Andrade or Santos Escobar, whoever it is, right? And what they want to do is inroads with Mexico. If you're in with AAA, you're in with the buildings that AAA runs. You're in with the TV networks that AAA deals with. All of a sudden now it's like you have this entrance and way into just like the market share and the buildings and all kinds of other stuff. That then allows you to take more control of just that scene. So that's why they're doing it. That's the general reason why they're doing that. I would expect at some point WWE to send people like performance center people to Mexico to use that as a place to get experience and things like that. So that's the deal with like some of the intention stuff. The Roldans and the Peñas, they are doing this because in their mind it's them finally getting AAA taken off their hands. They don't have to worry about, oh my God, how the fuck are we going to handle this, and that? WWE, just fucking buy this thing, please. And so that's why they did that. And Lucha Blog, I implore everybody to read his last two articles on this topic. WWE made a press release today where they kind of gave you some of the business details on the financial transaction itself. But Lucha Blog made a good point about where he said that like any sadness that would come for the family that owns AAA, like losing AAA, is outweighed by the relief that they feel that they don't have to worry about it from that standpoint. It's unclear who will handle the day-to-day operations. WWE implies that it will stay the current AAA management. We shall see. Conan books it, but Lucha Libre Online reported today that WWE will be sending Jeremy Borash to handle the WWE aspect of AAA's presentation and their creative. So again, we'll see how this evolves over the coming days and weeks. But that's the situation. The announcement came on Saturday. Triple H was standing with Andrade and Santos.
Vikingo in his full getup.
Vikingo in his full getup. Stephanie Vaquer and Dragon Lee and all these guys. Ray Phoenix, Penta. They were all right behind him. He was hyped. He pretended to be a Lucha Libre fan. He was like, I watched the Worlds Collide in 1994. It blew my mind. All that shit. So we will continue to monitor the situation, folks. And as new details emerge, I will do my best on my shows that I'm on WrestlePurists to keep you guys updated and abreast on what's happening with AAA and WWE. So that's just the shorthand version of what's going on.
Yeah, I just have like a quick thing to add before I go back to Super Chat. What are they going to do about the fact that Alberto Del Rio is the champion?
That's a great question. And Rob Piper implied that he will be working with WWE. So we shall see on that.
Oh, that's the nastiest. Oh,
it's
I'm not going to even go into that. Phantom FTW, £2. No wonder. Triple nose, big nose. doing pre-damage control. Pre-damage control, that was one of the weirdest weeks they had for PR ever. If that was pre-damage control, that's crazy. Young blinked. 1090 reais. Thank you, my people. Mi gente latina. Keep doubting my goat. And still. Beijos. Abram Shayoga, 199. Shout out to Paul Heyman and Karrion Kross. Shout out to Paul Heyman.
I guess.
Hush, 199. NXT Mexico. What EU promotion sells its soul?
Gone
out the window. I don't even know at this point. There's not a lot of European companies to the level of a AAA. There's none.
Plus, most of the major European indie wrestlers already just did a tryout, and Triple H spoke to them.
Yeah, exactly. NXT Europe is coming soon. WXW, I don't know if they would sell though. David Camp, 199 £. Shout out to Selfmade.
Shout out to Selfmade. I love the Selfmaders. I love the Selfmade audience. I appreciate you guys, and I will do my best to continue to be active and provide the best content and services in there.
Not Josh Tafe, 199. Thank you. Travis Scott, huh?
Yeah.
Ben V900, 199. Thank you. Congrats on using the AC money for the Cena shirt. Hey, this was my work money. Okay, this was ours in the restaurant money. Okay, WrestlePurists money is used for food. I always do my groceries. Okay, and I'm gonna need an AC again soon because summer is coming.
Yeah.
Alex H, £2. Thought on Jey Uso no selling Gunther's offense. Tacky.
Yeah.
Nasty, petty, disgusting, awful,
unsettling,
horrendous. I don't know. Disturbing. Jacob Donnelly, $2. Thank you. If I never hear Fiend again, I'll die a happy man.
Yeah.
Fiend. Hurts, 199. Chances this is gonna be best Randy Cena match.
It'll be the most heated.
Probably not.
John is not in the physical shape to have an incredible match, and it might have Travis Scott in the finish again.
Ryan Sacchini, 279 Canadian. Randy clearly said, "Give me a viral record when leaves."
Yep.
Would have been more viral than Jeff Hardy. Sway, 199. Enough of government mandated Travis Scott and bag.
Fiend.
Corey David, $2. Thank you. Oba Javon and yes, Trick Williams killed it. I still need to see that one.
Great match. Two black men in the main event. Black referee. They fucking went beast mode. Trick Williams did his thing. Javon looked unbelievable. And I think the inevitable Oba Femi Javon singles match in NXT, especially if it's at a big show, it'll be the best male match in the Shawn Michaels NXT era.
He's gonna murder Javon. Alex H, £2. What would Ibu say about Multimania, Chuck?
I just said there were a lot of multi-mans. I'll say this. In a cruel twist of irony, the best stuff at Mania weekend were the multi-person matches. So there you go.
You and Monty were shitting it so bad, and the whole time I was just like, it's gonna be good. I don't know what to tell you, and they were the best. Dame, 199. Y'all think Dave going 5 on the women's match? Solid 475.
He said it. He was talking about it like it blew his mind, so I think he's giving it a 5.
I mean, he gave a 5 to Tony Murray. I feel like he's just doing whatever now. Jumanji Hunter, that deserved it, but it's Dave. $2. Thoughts on Trick potentially called up tonight.
I don't think he's ready.
Williams versus Jey Uso.
I don't think Trick is ready, but it is what it is.
Ibu, go ahead.
Give me Backshots Salamonster.
You don't need to yell it, okay? $2. When Oba versus Braun happens, we sure no one will die. Oba versus Braun is just like one of those matches that just thinking about it, you can feel like you're so like levitating.
Yeah, I get the prospect of that excites me, except I remember that Netflix doesn't allow porn on their service, so I don't really know.
The cum wings are going to come out for that one. Chi-Town Sports is $2. Ibu, are you ready to fight for the soul of WWE?
Absolutely not. I'm actually going to be watching the next game when this podcast is over.
And Thompson, £2. Yo, Ibu, can you imitate Triple H's "It's what we do" phrase?
I mean, when you look at what we did last night at Mania, I mean, it's just, wow. It's what we do.
It's what we do. Fing. Black Yakuza 94, $5. Thank you. So is the WWE title just going to be held hostage anytime a heel wins? That seems like that's just wrestling at this point in time. So I'm gonna keep going. Gordon 499, Máscara Dorada in WWE or anything WWE related will kill my love for wrestling. God bless.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that all the super chats?
Someone's saying we skipped their. Someone's saying we skipped their don't know. Did we? Can you find it, Monty?
Well, while Monty looks for that, let's go.
Monty cannot find it. Maybe it didn't go through. I'm sorry.
If it didn't, have that person restate their question in like a comment form, and we'll pull that up if possible. While that individual does that, because I'm not even looking at the chat, I'll quickly touch on. We agreed that Damian and Drew was a good match. Dominic, Braun, Finn, and Penta was really, really fun.
Banging.
Yeah, Dominic got a good win. I did enjoy that. That was a good
I was so happy for Dominic because I called it before the match. I was telling my friends like Dominic's gonna win, and no one believed me. Well,
shout out to you and shout out to Vegas because they got really fun.
I was really happy that the crowd was like on his side.
Yeah. Dirty Dom. That was fun. I thought Logan Paul versus AJ was a pile of shit. I thought
it was so bad. It was so bad. Especially because you mentioned like the other years they brought out Speed. They brought out KSI. They even brought out fucking Jake Paul. This year we had Jeff. Who is Jeff?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Jeff?
I don't know. I thought
they didn't even say a last name. The dude was just there and like, it's Jeff. And I'm like, am I supposed to know who Jeff is?
Know who Jeff is? I don't watch Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. So I don't know. Logan Paul is he's not very good. He can do moves, but the novelty of the celebrity guy doing moves wore off. Now be a wrestler, and he doesn't wrestle. There's no connective tissue, and the most of the match was him in control, just like doing moves to AJ casually while like walking around a little bit in between the moves. And AJ like didn't do enough in the match, and when he did do stuff, he was very sluggish. The most sluggish I've seen AJ in like 2-3 years, so that was very concerning. So I thought the match sucked, to be honest with you. Didn't think it was very good at all.
It was really bad. I was generally expecting it to be like a solid match. It didn't expect to be a great match, of course, but I was like, AJ, he was on one, maybe he didn't take his steroids before that match. Right. Logan Paul, like I said, he wrestles with no emotion. He just does like video game move. It's like literally like playing a video game. You just click random buttons. There's nothing else there.
Yep.
Right. And it is nasty that he does the buckshot lariat. I just had like a personal beef with him about that. And the fact that on commentary they are like calling it buckshot lariat now is always just like, doesn't sit well with my soul.
Didn't sit well with my soul. Neither did, to be completely honest with you, Becky Lynch taking Bayley's spot in this tag match, to be honest with you. I'm a pro Becky Lynch person. I love Becky Lynch. I think she's a big star still and still a really good wrestler. I don't know about this one. And I'll say this. I tweeted about this, so I have my extensive thoughts there. I just thought that Lyra and Liv have come a long way since the last time Becky was here. And I felt like when Becky came back, that they both reverted back to the versions of themselves that existed back when Becky was here. Like Liv Morgan wasn't a chicken shit heel anymore. She was a competent wrestler. Lyra Valkyria wasn't this bright-eyed newbie anymore. She was the women's Intercontinental Champion. And it just kind of felt like they were playing their reduced roles for this house show style main event. The match was fine. There's nothing wrong with the match. It was a fine house show style match.
Not a WrestleMania match.
Not a WrestleMania match, and Liv Morgan had great matches on TV with Raquel prior to this, so this is a massive step down, and we'll see where things go with Becky. And then obviously we touched on the main event with John Cena, but
the Becky thing, the Becky thing is just like for me the fact that they canceled the Bayley Roxanne match that was supposed to happen. They just threw everything away to put Bayley out of nowhere with Lyra to go against Liv and Raquel, which made no fucking sense. And it was so out of nowhere for like the day before for them to just be like, hey, actually, no, Becky has to return. And Becky saying that she was waiting for a good creative to come back, and then that's the good creative. Everything just felt very weird. Mercedes unfollowed Becky, so I don't know what's going on backstage, but yeah. Becky's return was supposed to be like a positive occasion, and it wasn't. The ink shelf, 5 pounds. Literally, the only good thing about the entire Logan AJ program was Cross. God, the match was hideous.
Hideous is a great word to describe that. And what I don't think was hideous, Anna, was this podcast, which I had a lot of fun with. Me and Anna, 2-person podcast, nice and easy going. I had fun shitting on WrestleMania and The Rock. But in truth, this is good stuff, and we really appreciate the audience who always remains engaged and passionate. So shout out to the WrestlePurists universe. We will be back next week, Anna, and we will be back with Joe Holbert, who is returning from his Vegas trip. So we'll see what mental state Joe Holbert is in come next Monday. But yeah, so this is worldwide. Tomorrow I'll be reviewing the Raw to WrestleMania with Rob. Hopefully I'll be in a good mood. That's dependent not on Raw as WrestleMania. That's dependent on if the New York Knicks beat the Detroit Pistons tonight. So hopefully they fucking do that. If not, I'll be miserable and I might call out of the show tomorrow. But for Anna, I'm Eagle WrestlePurist, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon.